So we were in the situation of appealing this decision. But what would that mean or have meant? Another 6 months, 9 months of legal disputes, unclear outcome at the end, people dying during that time. So we said, no, we're going to take this money, we're going to finance the information that we have been distributing through London, we're going to rent this place, and what's left over we're going to put into research. That's why we did it. It was not because we caved in or gave in to the BMJ at any point in time. There's no reason that we do this. But sometimes you have to be a fox and not a lion in order to move forward. And sometimes, and that's even more important, the responsibility to human life is what dictates the decision. Paul already introduced these elements that were in my open letter. I said, I demand that the BMJ puts an equal amount of natural health information than information of pharmaceutical products in the future editions of that journal. The editorial board of the BMJ has to be restructured. So it's not just composed of marketing experts of pharmaceutical products. And there have to be an equal amount of scientists and medical researchers representing natural health research. I also said the BMJ should launch a Young Researcher Award in science-based natural health, so that young people are attracted to this field and are not just trained as salespeople for the drug industry. So the question that really comes down to, what are these interest groups afraid of? We've covered one aspect, and that is the science. But the other aspect is even more important, and that is you. So I put this us on there, because me giving you the arguments that I will give you in a few minutes, the knowledge, the understanding, you will take the lead. You will take an understanding home tonight that you won't get at a medical school. You don't need to believe me. You just believe your own thinking. I'm sure you will go home and you will search to disprove what you're going to be hearing tonight. If you are able, welcome back. Call me, write to us. But if you see that what I said tonight is right, then another decision will come up on you, and that is, what are you going to do about it? We'll come to that. So the us means, I'm giving you something, I'm giving you information. You are taking that as lay people, and you are carrying this information, irrespective of what Fiona or anyone else says. That's what they are afraid of. The democratization of medicine, the breaking of the ban of illiteracy on health. And here is the basis of that. When you hear about cellular medicine, it is nothing fancy, nothing esoteric. It just means that health and disease originate and are decided at the level not of organs, but of cells. When you open the yellow pages in London and look for doctors, you'll find the cardiologist, the nephrologist for the kidneys, the orthopedic doctor. So it's structured into organs. But what what is ignored is the fact that health and disease is decided at the much smaller level, which is the cells that make up these organs. And irrespective whether this is a liver cell, whether this is a blood vessel cell, whether this are white blood cells or any other type of cell, they are built remarkably similar. Each cell essentially works like a small city or a small town, like a village. There is the center where the information is stored, what is happening in my little town. And that's the core here, the nucleus of this cell. And then there's a factory where the things that this cell wants to produce or has to produce is being manufactured. That is happening in this complex here, which is called Golgi complex. Now, for example, if this is a pancreas cell, this factory would produce insulin. If this is a white blood cell, this factory would produce antibodies to fight invading microorganisms, and so on. But irrespective of what this cell is doing, it needs energy, bioenergy. Without that energy, this work cannot be done, and the cell will not be able to function properly. In the long run, this means that not only the cells malfunction, but also the organ malfunctions, and then diseases develop. Now, what is this energy? Well, we are differentiating between macronutrients and micronutrients. Macronutrients, proteins, sugars, fat. Micronutrients, vitamins, amino acid, trace elements, certain minerals are part of that too. In a way, you could look at the macronutrients as the charcoal in the oven, and the micronutrients as the ignition, the fire. So when someone comes to you and says, you get all your energy in your body from the macronutrients, you tell them, well, it's like storing charcoal in my oven and not igniting it. There's no heat developing. Now that, of course, is a lay description, but it brings across the point. This is an important picture here. There are 4 elements that define our life: oxygen, water, food, the macronutrients, and what we call cellular nutrients or micronutrients. Interestingly, 3 of them have clear alarm signals. If you're lacking oxygen, you feel it. You're choking. If your body has too little water, you get thirsty. Hunger is the alarm sign for lack of food. But if you are lacking micronutrients, there is simply no alarm sign. The only way to do something about that is by understanding this, by education, by what we are doing tonight.